Hey, it's Josh McEwen with episode 14 of Dufferin Spotlight on Business, where we bring your community to you by letting you know what's in the area while highlighting the advantages of shopping local. This week I am joined by Lori and Jerry of Team Spirit, the science behind Spirit, which is a team of paranormal investigators. You heard that right. There's a team of paranormal investigators in Dufferin. They don't even charge for their investigations, as their primary goal is to help people, which is pretty amazing. Now, I would consider myself a skeptic when it comes to matters of the paranormal, but then again, it's something I know very little about. And I wouldn't be the first skeptic they've turned. Something I am definite on, though, is that Jerry and Lori are some of the most authentic people I've met, who are always looking to help in whatever way they can. For these reasons and more, we are very lucky to have them in our community, and Team Spirit as a whole. Even more so considering this is something truly unique to Dufferin. I'll keep this short, as Team Spirit has some pretty awesome stories and some huge plans for the New Year's. The best way to see everything Team Spirit, the science behind Spirit, is up to is to like them on Facebook, where you can see their weekly live show and a whole bunch of other video content based around their investigations. They even invited me on their December 12th show, so be sure to check that out. They also have a website, sciencebehindspirit.ca. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy this episode of Dufferin Spotlight on Business. Hi, it's Josh McEwen here with Dufferin Spotlight on Business, and today I'm here with Jerry and Lori from Team Spirit, the science behind the Spirit. Thank you for joining me today.
It's our pleasure.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for letting me on your show the other night. It was awesome.
You know what? We got great response to that.
I'm glad.
People enjoyed having you on, and it was something local, which was very interesting for them, I think.
Awesome.
So it was our pleasure having you on.
Absolutely.
I'm glad. Thank you so much. I'm glad I got good feedback as well, so thank you. So if you don't mind, would you guys just like to give us a little bit of background about yourselves and then the business?
So I am one of those guys that has to learn everything I can.
Awesome.
If you put something in front of me, I have to learn it. I have to know how it works, how it operates. I have many years of customer service experience. As Lori would put it, a knowledge that, sometimes people will just say, how do you know that? When it's totally unrelated. But I'm just one of those guys, I absorb it like a sponge. And when it comes to the paranormal, as what we do, my experience started when I was 12.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. My family is mostly, almost all of them are from Scotland. My parents emigrated here. And my grandfather, on the day he passed away, I actually knew he'd passed away 4 hours before we got the phone call.
Oh, wow.
And that's where it started. But again, you're like 12 years old, so you don't tell your friends that because, they'll just beat you up. Kept it kind of quiet. And then later on, when I was 17, my girlfriend at the time was a live-in nanny, and she stayed at a house that had a poltergeist, would move stuff around, and that was what got me started in the paranormal. But the paranormal, I think, for us it's our passion together.
Yes.
And we love helping people any way we can.
I can attest to that.
And I appreciate that.
Yes,
that means a lot to us. So, helping anybody we can. We don't charge for any investigations that we do.
Awesome.
We both have other jobs that we do and other interests. But, for us, this is huge.
Absolutely. So a little bit about me. I have been in children's services pretty much all my whole life.
Wow.
So helping families and children. My interest in the paranormal has kind of always been there. I've always been interested in scary movies and, just kind of wondering how things work. And is that real? Yeah. Growing up, my grandparents' farm, they always said that there was a ghost in there. And they actually named the ghost, they called him Duffy. So he would move things around and frighten them sometimes. And so I think that kind of started it. And then it's just kind of grown from there. And then when Jerry and I met, we both kind of started talking about it. And we're like, wow, this is really cool. That
we should do this.
We're like, we should so do this.
And that's how we got started. We started out with some basic equipment.
Yeah.
And like basic equipment that you would go out, you'd take like a digital voice recorder. We would take a spirit box and like a K2 meter. And that's what we got started with. And then a little handheld camcorder. We had a little old camcorder. We still use it, as a matter of fact. The thing still takes beautiful video. But that's how we got started. And now we've got, I think, like 8 boxes worth of equipment.
Yeah.
Whoa.
We have
a team of amazing ladies. And I got to tell you, they are amazing ladies. Our vehicles are all dressed up with it. We have a motorhome we use. We have our own web page now and our own Facebook page. And, we're off and flying.
Yeah.
We did a commercial with Jerry D last year. So, it's taken off, and we've had a lot of fun doing it.
That's so awesome. That's amazing. I mean, you guys are helping everybody on top of all that.
We are big believers in you help everybody you can. Like, even if it's not related to what you do, if there's something that you can do to help somebody, whether, you impart your knowledge or they just need a hand.
Yeah.
There was one time we have property up north, and we were driving back from the property. We had been there all day.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a gentleman at the side of the road with a flat tire. And Lori and I looked at him and said, that guy needs a hand. So I immediately turned the truck around, went back. His jack was not going to change that tire. The jack couldn't go up any higher. He couldn't get the wheel off. So I pulled the jack out of my truck and pulled some tools out of the back, and we changed his tire right there at the side of the road. And then he tried to pay me. And I said, no, I don't do that for money. And then he's like, well, and he had just bought this beautiful bottle of scotch for himself because he was up helping his son. And he said he was going to go home, open the bottle, sit down, have a nice drink. And I said, so you know what? Take that bottle and do what you were going to do, right? I don't want paid for anything. I just happy to help. And what I'm hoping now is he'll take that and he'll go help somebody and pass it on, pay it forward. That's all. It's not about the money. It's just being about a decent human being and being kind to everybody you can. That's what it's about.
That's true. And I think some people need reminders of that sometimes. I mean, it's kind of easy to think that there's not real, genuine people left in the world, but there is.
There are. Absolutely, there are.
We've run into a lot of them.
Yes.
That's good. And I mean, I find that genuine people can find each other. Like,
Yeah.
They do. It's like a beacon of light. You can see them in a crowd.
True.
You know.
It's good because, I mean, it's easy to be cynical and jaded, but once you realize that they do exist and when you find them, it sets a great example. And I mean, it may take you a little bit, but you'll realize, like, hey, I can be like that too. I don't have to be as cynical as I am, and I can help more people. And
Absolutely.
especially if you benefit from something like that, like, it really does carry forward. Like, it really does help.
Yeah, for sure it does.
What are your most popular products or services?
Well, that would be the paranormal investigations.
Yeah.
Right? That's our meat and potatoes.
Yeah, it is.
So somebody will either email us or message us on Facebook or call or text or something and say, you know what, I've got a unsettled spirit, we'll say, in my house. And we're like, okay, tell us a little more about it. And do you want us to come there? And always the first question is, what's it cost? And we tell them, it doesn't cost anything. We're just happy to come. For us, it's about gaining that knowledge, gaining
experience.
a little more case evidence. The experience, and genuinely just being able to help. So we actually have a statistic. When we do a live event, we have a PowerPoint. And I did the research on the stats. And as it turns out, 86% of the population of North America has had some sort of paranormal experience.
Wow.
The other 14% just don't talk about it. Like, you figure the things that are so predominant in North America, Halloween celebrates that time between the living and the dead, that veil in between. There's the Day of the Dead in Mexico. Right? Again, the dead are revered and honored, right? So for us, when someone says, I think I've got something in my house, it's never like, really? Ours is like, can we come? That's what we want to do. We want to show up and we want to find what we can there without them telling us. We want to go in blind. That's huge for us.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So, yeah. Because we don't want to be tainted or...
No, you don't want to go, okay, so you don't want the homeowner to go, there's something in that room, and then that's all you focus on. We want to cover the whole house. So for us, that's our meat and potatoes, is that investigation. That gives us that thrill.
Absolutely.
Right? And then we do other things on the side, like we do live shows and we've done live investigations and things like that. But it all comes down.
We've investigated inns.
Yeah, we've done a couple of inns.
Cool.
We've done a couple of businesses, like 3 or 4 businesses here in Orangeville.
Yes, we've done some businesses.
And I said, we're going to go do the jail in Godrich. We've been invited to go to the Waverly Asylum in the U.S., and we're going to go there next year.
Next year, yeah.
That's now kind of carved in stone, so we're going.
Wow.
So, yeah, the investigations are huge for us.
And they're just as exciting every time.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're all different, right? So even though you do your setup the same and everything, but every investigation is different. Yep. So you always have that thrill every time you go.
Goosebumps and that excitement and just let us get in there. That's what we want. Just let us in.
It's like the adrenaline rush.
Yeah, it is.
Right? Yeah.
It'll never get old then.
No,
Nope.
it never gets old.
It never gets old. You know what? And for the ones that have come along with us on an investigation, that come as like a guest investigator, they leave with us and they go, I can't believe you do this. And we're like, but we love it. And Chris Vernon from the Orangeville Banner, when he came with us on one of our huge investigations and huge clearings that we did, he was blown away by what we did. And to see the look on their face when they come out after with us and they're like, I don't know what just happened in there.
What just happened?
What happened? And then they're like, I need a couple of weeks to process what happened. For us, it's like, okay, on to the next one.
Yeah.
We have a lot of fun.
We do. We do.
And you were mentioning some of the stories you've investigated around town. I know one we've talked about in past episodes was fromage.
Yes.
which was pretty cool. And what was funny was the night I was editing this episode was the same night you guys reached out, and it was amazing. Like, that's such a cool.
Christine's got a beautiful place. And the way it's set up, if you've never been to Fromage, you got to go to Fromage. She has this awesome cheese shop.
Yes.
And there's like little bistro tables in there and little places to sit and have, grilled cheese and things like that. So I recommend go if you can go. And if you're quiet enough and you just kind of sit there, you'll feel what's in that store. Because we caught stuff in the basement.
Yeah, we did.
It's got the old original boiler down there.
But it was all fun.
It was, yeah. There was nothing creepy about it.
Not at all.
She actually has a playful spirit that
playful.
plays with her hair when she's in her office.
Yeah, she mentioned that, actually.
And we caught it on the SLS
We did.
in her office. So, yeah, it was just, and look, I got goosebumps right
Yeah,
now
you
talking
do.
about it. But, yeah, such a cool vibe in there.
Yeah.
And there's no angry spirit or in there. They just want you to know they're there, right? It was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've done a dental office here in town.
Yeah.
We've done a couple here in town. We'd love to get some more. But yeah, so cool. So cool.
Awesome. So how many people do you guys employ today?
I wouldn't really say they're employees.
No,
We're
no.
all kindred spirits.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
That's the best way to put it.
It
I
is,
think.
absolutely.
So we have 6
Yes.
of the most amazing ladies on our crew. No fear. Like, you could tell them, you know what, we're going to go into that house there and, they've got a ghost in there that moves stuff around and they're like, okay, let's go.
Wow.
And they are so authentic. Each one of them has a special ability of their own. Like, they really do.
Absolutely.
And they
do.
will come and they will bring their own feelings, thoughts, things that they've got, visions
Visions,
that
yeah.
they've had even before we get to the place. They'll get these things through meditation and things like that. So we've got like Tracy and Holly and Michelle. And then you've got the other ones that are just huge empaths.
Mm-hmm.
Tammy, Ellen, and Melissa. They'll walk into a room and go, do you feel that? So that each one of them brings their own authentic style.
Okay.
Right.
And for those that don't know, I know we discussed this on our night. What's an empath?
So an empath is someone that can pick up on people's feelings, emotions, without you even saying a word to them. They'll be able to pick it up. They can also tell if you're lying. Empaths can pick up on the truth just in vibration coming from you. It's that feeling, that aura
Yeah.
that they pick up
The
on.
energy that other people
Right,
are
that they
pushing
bring.
out.
And you can't fool an empath. You can't. And it can be draining on the empath.
I can imagine.
Right? Having to take all those people's emotions and feelings and everything constantly. Doesn't matter where they go. It's kind of like it just bombards them. I'm an empath. You're a huge empath. Lori's a huge empath. So we pick up on it. And I'll tell you, before my surgery, I think it was a little different. After my surgery, and then doing this more full-time, turns you into an emotional basket case.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. I'll be standing in there and you'll feel something.
But you take on their emotions.
You take on
that's
the
why.
emotions. Like I read for a gentleman at the Duffy in Shelburne. And the next day, his son was still there. And I'm standing there at the kitchen island, about to have dinner, and I've got tears in my eyes, right? Because you feel that pain,
Yeah.
right? Empaths will do that. They'll feel that. So, yeah, can't fool an empath. But as far as my team goes, my team is packed with individual talents that I'm proud to say are part of us,
Absolutely.
right? They are amazing ladies.
They make us,
Absolutely.
right? Because
Yeah.
they add so much
Yeah.
to what we do
Yeah.
that just the two of us together can't do.
Right. And when we get to a location and we're setting up the equipment, they dive in. Okay, where do you want this? Where do we want that? They already know. And then when we're ready to start up, they take equipment, off they go. They're seasoned.
That's good.
Yeah, they're just amazing. So
Wow.
I can't say enough about the ladies on my team.
That tells about when you do something that you love, right? Because I think we've all maybe been a part of teams in the workplace. They don't function as well as they could. But when you're doing something that you love and you're all there because you want to be there,
Right.
that team works well.
That's huge.
Absolutely. That,
Yeah,
that
that's
makes
huge.
a big difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's
and,
good.
And we all support each other. That's
Yeah.
the biggest thing.
Yeah.
So it's not always this person's teamed up with this person. We'll switch it around and we'll go,
absolutely.
hey, we'll walk through the initial and I'll say to them, I know what I'm getting. I know what I'll pick up, but I'll say to them, okay, what do you feel in here? Do you see anything? Do you feel anything? Where do you think we should put this or that? What are you getting? Because you know what? I value their opinion. So, we do. We have a good team.
That's super important because like you said, if you don't have all those skills, you might not pick up on something. And if you miss something, you could miss
Everybody
it.
gets
You're
it differently.
absolutely
Right? Everybody gets it different. So that's the huge thing is if you may pick up on something that they don't, or they're going to pick up on things that you don't. So you want that individuality there.
So where do you think most of your competition comes from today?
Competitions, I guess, wouldn't really be the strongest of
No,
word.
because I really find in what we do that there's not really a lot of competition. Like everyone kind of
You partner up.
yeah, we'll
So
talk.
you'll
We'll
find-
talk to each other, and we'll right. Like paranormal groups don't really compete.
There are some that want to stay
Wow.
exclusive to their investigation
Yeah,
or
there's not the
their
odd
area,
one, but-
right? But that's very few and far between. Most paranormal groups, because we're all looking for the same thing, answers. So most times we will either partner up or share, right? We'll share experiences and things like that. Like when Dan was on, Dan's part of a paranormal group, and Dan's group said, "Hey, come and investigate with us." And we said to them, "Yeah, you can come with us." So I don't know if it's so much as competition.
Because even if you investigate the same place,
You may get different.
you may because it's different people, right?
Yeah.
So it can feel kind of different.
Yeah.
So that's why,
Yeah, I don't know if it's competition.
yeah.
That's good that you guys can all cooperate, because I mean, like, I think it was mentioned on your show when Dan was on that there's some groups, like maybe the Bigfoot groups, that are a little bit more competitive and they are
Right.
less helpful with each other, maybe because there's a monetary reward at the end that people see.
Right.
So that's where they become less friendly. But with you guys, it seems like there's a real community spirit.
Yes.
Yeah, and we're not doing it for the money. I think that's the key thing.
Yeah.
We don't,
Yeah.
So it's to help
know,
people.
it's just to help.
So it doesn't
you know.
matter.
You want to
right?
compete to try and help more people than me? Pff, knock your socks off.
Like, that's good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You can say,
that's-
hey,
that's a
I have
positive.
35 people this week. Great.
Do you want our help?
them? Yeah, help them. If you can help them, do it.
Yes.
If you're doing it for the money, you're not authentic. Mm-hmm. Right? I think that's the issue. If you're doing it for money, it's not about being authentic. It's about being famous.
And the thing with the people that are chasing Bigfoot versus, and I'm not really saying that you guys are part of the same group anyways, but those people probably aren't looking after Bigfoot because they care about Bigfoot. They're caring about the money. Where you guys
Right.
are going and talking to the spirits. You guys care, from what I understand, you care about the well-being of the spirits. You're not
Absolutely.
trying to.
Absolutely, we
You're not
do.
trying to agitate anybody.
No.
No, we don't go in there to provoke spirit. Unless spirit's doing something negative to someone in the home, my crew knows the only one that provokes spirit's me. You know, if it's picking on a child or something like that, I will provoke it if it won't talk to me.
Okay.
I've actually gone into one of the homes and said, look, I'll get you to attach to me and I'll take you out. Right? But for 9 times out of 10, it's not about that.
Yeah.
It's to go in there and respect those that have passed on and also respect the homeowner.
Yeah.
Right? So we want to have that mutual understanding.
100%.
That for us is paramount. And then anything after that is whatever's necessary.
Exactly. And again, your point is to be respectful towards everybody involved.
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Which, again, with other groups, it doesn't seem like that's the case.
We try.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
We value what the homeowner tells us. You have to be respectful of the home that they're living in. So one of the things you don't want to do is stir up something that's going to make their life in that home worse after we leave.
Yeah.
Right?
That's kind of not the whole point.
That's not
right?
the point.
Yeah.
Unless your house has a portal or is a portal on the property, we may get rid of what's there, but something else will take its place unless you close that portal.
So, for people who don't know, what is a portal?
It's a gateway. It's a
Okay.
gateway from this realm to the next. So for those of you that are using Ouija boards, don't. Because you're technically, you're opening a door that sometimes you can't close, right? And if you do that, you're leaving things in your house that you may not know is there. And it will start to affect you negatively afterwards. So for us, it's not about stirring that up. If we can identify a portal and we can close that portal, we will. Because it'll give you peace.
Yeah.
Right? But usually if there's a portal open, you'll get rid of what's in the house. It's gone. Something else comes through and takes its place. And then you're coming back for something completely different. Right? So
And you guys don't make money off repeat visits. It's not
no,
your
it's
best
not-
interest
yeah.
either.
No. But you know what? If somebody has something that's come back and they call us and say, hey, something else is going on here, we're gladly coming back.
Yeah.
Right? It's not about, oh, we've already
Absolutely,
been
we
there.
will.
We're actually doing a couple of
Yeah,
repeats.
we are.
Because we believe there's a portal on the street.
Oh, okay.
Right? It's not in the specific house. It's on the street. So we're going to go back to that house
Yes, we are.
and do another one on the street because we figured the portal's between those two homes. So that's why we're going back. So for those of you that do follow our page, you know that we like to do a live broadcast, a Facebook Live while we're doing the investigation so you can see what we do. So this one will be interesting. I think
will
this
be.
is going to be our first like big portal one.
Yeah.
And
It'll be in the
I
new
think-
year sometime.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be the whole team, and along with MJ, our
Yes.
demonologist, is coming along, and I think it's going to take all of us to do this. It's going to be big.
That sound indicates a commercial break. We're new, so we'll just take this time to let you know what Dufferin Spotlight actually does. Each week, we will be releasing a new episode of our show, Dufferin Spotlight on Business, which will feature a discussion with business leaders from around Dufferin County regarding their businesses and accomplishments. The achievements of small business leaders largely go unnoticed, but it is our goal to highlight and recognize them. as these are the people who keep small communities like ours alive. In addition to bringing more attention to the businesses in Dufferin, we will share the advantages of shopping local, so be sure to check back each week to see the amazing things people are doing through their businesses. To find out more about what we do, and to stay updated on the other shows we will be producing, be sure to check us out at dufferinspotlight.ca.
Right now, the majority of our calls are coming from Shelburne,
Yeah.
right? And I think simply because of the new subdivisions they've put in, they've scraped and dug up the land, and that's left some. That's disturbed a lot because Shelburne was a fairly large swampy land at one time, and there's native land up there.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm a history buff. So for me, the developers just going in and scraping all that dirt away and throwing it away or relocating it somewhere else is a sin. So being that history buff and a paranormal investigator, if you're going to clear out a hunk of land, I should be able to walk through there with a metal detector first and find any artifact and donate it to the museum. Let's honor what's there. Let's encase it properly in a museum where that history can be honored and revered. And then you want to dig up your land for your houses? Fine.
I agree.
But let's take the necessary steps. I will come out there. And again, same with the metal detecting.
Yeah.
We've done it for farmers and things like that. We don't charge. We have 2 high-power metal detectors. We have all that equipment too. We'll come out. We'll walk that land. One of the gentlemen in Amaranth wanted to know where the drainage pipe went from his house to his culvert. And we're talking, it's a long driveway. And he called me up and he says, hey, can you help identify this pipe? I go, what kind of pipe is he? He said, well, it's cast iron. Not a problem. I'll be right out. Went out there with our detectors, flags, started at the road, walked to the house, found the pipe, flagged it all for him. I go, there you go. There's where you don't dig. Right?
Wow.
So same thing with history, horseshoes, buckles, things like that. When you scrape this land, you don't know what was there.
Yeah, who knows what kind of artifacts could be on that land.
Right? There may have been something of a farmhouse, a settlement, something, and you're just going to scoop it up and ship it off. I don't agree with that.
So it makes some unsettled spirits.
Because you've removed what's been there for how many hundreds of years, whatever, right? But now you've just scraped it away, and so that leaves spirit unsettled.
And that's part of the problem. Like, I mean, I know not all the developers are from out of town, but we have a lot of out-of-town developers coming.
Yes.
And they don't care what was here. It's easy to get lost in the money and everything else. I'm just doing my job and it doesn't really matter. But when you have roots to the community, and that's why we love small businesses, you think about stuff like that.
You do.
And again, I'm not going to go into any specific names like developers, but they really don't. So, I mean, it's...
Time is money to them.
Exactly. And they're like, well, we're doing you enough of a favor because we invest in your community.
Right.
And so everything beyond that's on you. And I mean, we're just following the laws from there. Again, local business would actually think about that in a lot of the cases.
And let's face it, you go in there and you find anything there that's been buried for a couple of 100 years, and it ends up at Dufferin County Museum.
Yeah.
It's just one more part of that history from this town that you can go see and learn about it. Because let's face it, once the cookie cutter houses go up, the history's gone.
Yeah.
Yep.
And nothing shows that history anymore, right?
Right.
It's just like the townhouses over here. Once they go in, that's it. History's gone. And now it's in some landfill. You've relocated.
Never to be found again.
Yeah, you've relocated, say, maybe an entire family history from a farm
Yep.
that's been in the family for generations is now gone.
Yeah.
And there's no chance of recovering that anymore. When they knock down those townhouses that's in Timbuktu, where that soil went to, they'll think it's from there.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
And it's not. It's from here.
I never even thought about that. Yeah, 100% right.
Right? So that's why right now I think that we have the biggest calls are coming from Shelburne is because of this. We've gone into homes that are in subdivisions that are 2 years old.
And they're active.
Active homes. Active homes. And it's got nothing to do with the people in there. It's the land their house is on.
So that destroys the myth of paranormal only existing in old homes.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The paranormal
I
can
would say
be
we have
anywhere.
done more newer homes
Yep,
than
than
older
old
homes.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if a lot of them are coming from Shelburne, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've done quite a few in Shelburne.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, we've done quite a few.
Wow. That's amazing. I mean, that makes total sense, though, when you say that. Like, I mean, that makes complete sense. It's something I never think about, right? Like, I mean, it's easy not to think about these things, but once you start thinking about it, it's like, okay, well, that makes sense. Like, and especially when you're destroying history and rustling up the land,
Absolutely.
then yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So, what do you think makes you different from the competition?
So, like, there are other groups out there that have equipment. But Lori knows every time I see new equipment come out or I think of a way that we can do this or do that, I invest my own money. I will go out, I don't care what the equipment costs. If I think it's going to benefit what we do, I will spend that money. Some like to keep it small, simple, right? But I've always stood by this, and I think it's because of my history being in business and stuff like that. Right tool for the job.
Yeah.
So if I can say, okay, yeah, that thing's $800, but it does this, I'm willing to go, okay, I'm going to spend $800.
And it's good to have the variety, because
Yes.
sometimes it just depends when you're there on an investigation. Sometimes you end up using the simpler
the
items.
dowsing rods.
Yeah. And another time you use the more sophisticated equipment, depending on what the need and what you're feeling at the time.
Absolutely. So we have basic equipment like dowsing rods,
Yeah.
which cost you like $30. And there's even some you can make out of coat hangers, so that costs you nothing. And then right up to, like our SLS camera, we have a thermal imaging camera made by FLIR that will pick up hot, cold. Even to this day, even when I plug in this stuff, you sit there and go, wow, you know what? The last house, we caught nothing on this piece of equipment, but this house, this was the most beneficial piece of equipment. And then other times you're like, okay, the dowsing rods are what we used. We could pick up energy fluctuations in rooms just using the dowsing rods, which are simple.
And then there's the basics that we always use.
Yes.
Cameras.
K2 meters,
Digital
Mel meters.
recorders.
Yeah, digital recorders and camcorders. Night vision security cameras and night vision camcorders. They're your basics, but I've always said this even right from when we started training. The equipment is secondary. All the equipment is secondary to the crew, because what they pick up on is where you take that equipment to.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Right? And then
Absolutely.
there's where the production comes from. So the crew is always first, because the equipment can't do anything without the crew, and you need them to carry it, right? And take it with them and know how to use it. So your crew is paramount first. But as far as
Anything different? Just-
everything different,
yeah.
I think part of it's going to be that personality that you bring,
Yep.
right? That energy that we bring,
Yes.
the respect that you bring to someone's home, and that respect you bring to interact with spirit. I think that's huge too. You got to have that respect. I think that's what sets us apart.
Yeah, I
you know?
agree.
And the fact
sense.
that we just genuinely want to help. I think that's what makes us a little different.
Yeah, I'd say so. After meeting you guys, I know that's 100% true about you guys.
Thank
and
you.
I mean, I can imagine there's a lot of great people in what you guys do, but I don't know. It's you guys are pretty amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, I mean, I don't know, like, I'd say you guys have a lot going for you, especially in the terms of the team itself. And like you said, like, the equipment does help. I mean, it's just like a carpenter, right? Like, you could have the best carpenter in the world, but you have this wide tool set. Like, okay, you may only need a few of these for the job, but having that selection helps you.
Absolutely.
For sure.
The knowledge you have from your team helps you use that and know when to use the right tool for the job. Because I know if I went in there, if it looks fancy, sure, but I'm not going to know what to do. And even if I looked at it for like a couple hours, I will never have the knowledge and expertise that you guys do. So, I mean, I find it hard for some people to compete with you guys. I can just imagine.
And you know what? Like we said, we've never considered it competition.
No, we
Yeah.
haven't actually.
Right?
Yeah.
I think it's the level of time investment that you want to put into it. I think is what will determine how successful you're going to be and how serious you take what you do. Right? If you don't have that mindset that, I want to go in and I want to find out what's going on. I want to find out what's bothering this family or not. And then get some answers or say, okay, you know what? No, what's here is not negative. You just have to assert yourself and let them know, hey, we're sharing this house with you. It's our turn now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And
Just
I
giving them
think-
some tools. And
yeah, I think things like that are what sets us apart. And a lot of other paranormal investigators won't do clearing.
Oh,
So,
yeah?
like, if they come in, they won't
True.
clear a room or clear the people or clear the house or cleanse. They won't do that. They just come in, they go, yep, you've got ghosts, have a great day. And then they leave. If somebody wants something removed or cleared or that positive energy brought in and the negative out, we'll do that.
Sorry, it just reminds me of sometimes when you get like fraud detection, like with your credit card stuff. It's like, okay, yeah, you got like someone's using your account fraudulently, but like, how does that help me?
Right.
Yeah,
What do I do
What
to
do I
stop
do?
it? Right. Same idea.
I like just after the whole Equifax thing, and that's what they offer to people. It's like, okay, yes, but you screwed up, and now you're just going to tell me when people steal my account, but you're not going to help me. Like, okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah. Appreciate that.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah.
So no, that's good that you guys actually do go there to solve the problem instead of just pointing out, like, okay, yes, I'm talented, I can detect it. Have fun.
Yeah.
I've done my job.
Yeah.
I'm here to actually help you guys.
Yes.
So that's awesome. So what do you think customers should look for when doing business with somebody in your profession?
Ask questions.
Yeah.
I think that's the simple thing. Talk to whoever you're going to have do that paranormal investigation. Ask how they're going to do it. So, like, we are pretty stringent on the fact when we come to do it, we don't want any children there.
Okay.
Right? We've had it happen a couple of times. We're not big on that at all. If we're coming to your house, we want as few people in there as possible, especially children, because if we catch stuff on some of our cameras
It
and
can be
equipment,
scary.
you don't want some child not being able to sleep for the next month, right?
Adults can hardly understand it.
Exactly.
Right. But see, the thing is, children have no filter, right? Because let's face it, as adults, we grew up with our parents going, there's no such thing as ghosts.
Yep.
So we've been desensitized to it. Children, animals, pets have no filter. So when a child tells you, Mommy, I see something that doesn't make me feel good in my room or something that scares me, listen to it, because they don't know any different. So to them, that thing standing in the corner of the room is maybe what they've been used to for who knows how long. So you want to be able to call up that paranormal company and go, hey, guess what? My daughter says she sees this. If you call us, we're going to tell you, you know what? We want to come out there. And it's just a matter of asking those questions, being open to the fact that, yes, people will feel, see, hear things in their home, and they're not looking for judgment. They want you to listen to them with an open mind, open heart, and go there and help them. That's all they want. They want help.
Yes.
I think that's the thing. You've got to ask those questions. And when you feel comfortable, sometimes you'll feel it right away. You'll click with that client and go, you know what? Yeah, we want to come out to your house. And we will. Just ask.
And it has to be the same for the client, too.
Right. You
Right?
want,
Like,
you
they
want
have
to feel
feel
comfortable.
that,
You
that
want to explain
comfortableness,
what
too.
you're going to do in detail.
Yeah.
And how you're going to do it. You don't want to be, mounting cameras and drilling holes in their walls and things like that. And, you want to respect their home, respect their space, and respect what they believe.
Because they're opening their home to you
Absolutely.
to come in. So you have to be respectful of that.
Absolutely.
100%.
It's huge.
When you're looking for any service, that's a good thing, right? Like, especially when people are hesitant to answer your questions, it should raise some flags.
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And we're the type, too, if you want, you don't have to do it on the phone. If you feel better, come in and doing a face-to-face
Yeah.
with us so you can ask us in person. And please ask. We'll come to your house. We'll meet you at Tim Hortons, wherever you're comfortable. For us, it's about putting you at ease before, during, and after. That's it. Done.
And the benefit is you'll meet these two great people.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's really
We
true.
really do try. I think that's for us
Absolutely.
is just being good to people.
It's evident. I'll say it again and again because, it's 100% true, and I wish I could say it about more people. So I really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you guys like to mention any family or friends?
You know what? I would say we've mentioned the team, how
Yes.
great the team is. I'd also like to thank the team's spouses
Yes.
and significant others for being supportive when we go on like an overnight to an inn
Yeah.
or a hotel or something like that, and giving them that chance to just
Because
come
they
and
put a
join
lot
us
of-
freely.
They put a lot of time and energy
Yes.
into
Yeah,
our
so-
crew and our team.
Yeah. So everybody that's associated with the members of the team,
Yes.
whether it's, children, spouses, whatever, I'd like to thank them. Because without the team, we couldn't do this.
No.
Not on the scale we do.
That's right.
right?
Yeah.
Not on the scale we do.
And also the support from our family and friends.
Yes, because
also,
let's face it. There's been times we told people afterwards that was like, "Hey, guess what? We've started a paranormal investigation company," and they were like, "What?
What?
You're doing what? Where do you do this?"
But
Everywhere.
everyone's been so supportive.
Yeah, everybody's been great. And then it turned into, "Can we come?"
Yeah.
I've gotten similar reactions to this, so
Yeah.
I can understand.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're like, "Hey, can we come on the investigation?" Sure, you can.
What do you do?
Yeah. So I think just that would be it simple. It's just, thank you. Thank you for giving us that support.
Yeah,
It means the world to us.
absolutely.
And I want to thank the people that follow our page faithfully.
Yes.
Right? They're there for our lives.
Yeah.
They come, some of them have been guests
Yeah.
and come on. So yes, you need to thank all of them too. Like you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm so glad. Hey, it's Josh with another commercial break. Still no real ads, but I just thought I'd let you know that I don't know my passwords. That stops me from writing them down, sharing them, or worst of all, reusing the same password for my banking, email, and on that weird website that I'll never return to that will most likely be breached next month. This keeps me secure while making my life more convenient. To figure out how you can do the same, be sure to check out the articles on our website, dufferinspotlight.ca. Now back to the show, Dufferin Spotlight on Business. When you guys were younger, did you guys think you'd be doing this?
Nope.
No.
Nope. I actually never thought I had this connection with spirit.
I did always like Scooby Doo, though.
I think everybody did. Everybody likes Scooby-Doo.
So maybe a little part of me
Yeah.
always thought, that would be fun.
Or is the reason Scooby-Doo was always so popular.
Exactly.
Lose touch.
But no, I don't
but
think.
no.
Not to this
realistically,
level
no.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's amazing how things turn out.
It is.
It is, actually.
So did you guys have any role models or positive influences growing up?
In this field, for me, it was the first time I saw ghost hunters.
Yeah.
I think that was the first time when I saw these two guys that worked for Roto-Rooter, and in the night, they would go and hunt ghosts. And I'm like, why can't I do that? That would be so cool.
Yeah, I would
You
agree.
know?
I think those were probably
I
our
think
role
those were the
models
first,
to start with.
right?
Yeah.
Because they didn't go there looking for that glorified, over-the-top reactions like the Ghost Adventures crew guys do. They were just regular people, went in, took some equipment, wanted to help, and that was what they did. And I think that was what kind of paved the way for us. They were that
Yes.
kind of influence. We're like, you know
Absolutely.
what, we could do that. Because you know what, we have enough insight, and we had some equipment, and and that little bit of no fear.
Yeah, crucial.
Not that we haven't had the what scared out of us every once in a while.
Yeah, it has happened.
It has happened, and we've had a few things happen
Yes.
where you go, I did sign on for this, didn't I?
You gotta remind yourself.
Yeah. I wanted this to happen, but yeah, I think that was just where we came from.
Yeah.
Right. That
Absolutely.
was our influence. Was
Yeah.
watching some of the others do it.
Yeah, because I mean, it's good. Because I mean, especially like once you realize like somebody like regular goes in there, like you said during the day they work for Roto-Rooter.
Yep.
Then like, okay, I can possibly achieve this too.
Exactly.
All it takes is a little bit of effort.
It's
Yeah.
obtainable.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why it's important. Like we really do need more role models, and especially when you see somebody doing something that you also love.
Yeah.
That helps.
Don't give up on your dream.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. Don't give up on your dream.
Absolutely.
If you're passionate about something, pursue it. Just don't give up on it. It can happen. I see that, people say, well, you're not making any money at this. And you
But
spend
we're
all this
making
money.
more.
But this is how I equate it. And some people will understand it better if I say this. So like people have said, so you spend your own gas, you spend your own money on equipment, you travel all over the place to these people's houses and businesses and things like that, but you don't charge. Well, for us, this is our passion. It would be no different than if you were an avid snowmobiler.
Yeah.
You'll go out, you'll spend money on a machine, helmet, gear, you would buy a trailer, you will travel to all these locations and
Stay overnight.
and go out in the freezing cold.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It's no different for us, only we go out and get goosebumps from ghosts as opposed to the cold, So it's our passion, right? And I think that's the easiest way to look at it.
Yeah, it is.
If you have a hobby you like, you're going to spend money to do that hobby, whether it's snowmobiling, skiing, ATV riding, whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Ours just happens to be hunting ghosts. Right? And that's what we love. And we don't get hurt in the process.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Not always.
I was gonna say.
Not always.
Maybe the odd scratch or bite.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. Or push down a flight of stairs.
Where was your first job?
Well, because I'm in children's services, babysitting was probably my very first job. But I did also work part-time at a real estate office in
Oh, yeah?
Grand Valley for a couple of years. Did it during summer and after school and weekends. And I really enjoyed that, actually. Didn't go in that direction, but
No.
but yeah, that was my first job.
Cool. You learned a lot about customer service, I imagine, then.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, because I was the person sitting at the front desk, so it was kind of the first contact when someone came in, and then you'd kind of direct them to what they're looking at, help them, and then you direct them to the real estate agent after that.
Yeah, so you definitely want a friendly face.
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially if they're going to be making big purchases.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
You're always
Which is
very, very
Life-changing
nice.
purchases.
Awesome. So, about you, Jerry?
So my first job started when I was 12. Lori knows this. I was an entrepreneur. I would raise and breed silver teddy bear hamsters and
yeah?
then sell them to the pet stores.
Cool.
And I was quite successful. I also would fix and repair bicycles and sell them in my neighborhood. Yeah. And then had a paper route. So, it didn't take me long to get started quickly.
You were busy.
You know what? I always believed you want to do the best you can. You work for yourself. So for me, that was huge back then, right? I would sell a litter of hamsters regularly to different stores and get paid well for it. Bicycles would be whatever I would find. I would maybe see them at a yard sale or something like that, or somebody was throwing one out. I'd bring it home. I'd strip it. I'd put whatever new parts on it, clean it, paint it, and make a brand new bike out of it and then sell it. And then my paper route was pretty steady. I used my paper route to buy my first car at 14.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. I was walking up a guy's driveway and I saw...
That's a lot of papers.
I saw this 72 Monte Carlo sitting in this driveway in this guy's garage and fell in love with the car. I would walk past it every summer, and then I saw there was no plates on it. So I asked the guy one day, I says, what are you doing with that car? He goes, it was my project, he says, and I've gotten away from it. He says, it needs work. And I'm like, okay, how much do you want for it? He says, I want $300. I went, I'll be back tomorrow. At 14, so you couldn't drive it, right?
Yeah.
So I went over, I paid him $300 cash, I got the ownership, and then I had to have my dad call a towing company to tow it to my house. And then for 2 years I worked on it. On my 16th birthday, it was ready to go.
Awesome.
And I went out that morning, got my beginner license. In the afternoon, did my road test. The next day, I was back at the ministry getting plates from my car. And then my parents only saw me when I was hungry and out of gas.
Awesome.
But yeah, that was, so for me, that was my jobs. That was how I got started. And then I've had a plethora of jobs, sometimes 2 or 3 jobs at the same time.
Wow.
Right? I worked nights at Canada Post, and I was a mailman for a few years. I was also a property manager while working at Canada Post and a foster parent at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've always been busy, as Lori knows.
Absolutely,
I don't
yeah.
sit down much. I'm always on the go. But yeah, that's how I got started.
Wow. And it led to this.
Yes,
It's amazing.
and it's still going.
Yeah, it's
It's
amazing,
still going.
eh?
I also now I have I work for a local company here in Orangeville. I also have a motivational sales and customer service training business and Team Spirit, which is our passion.
Yes.
Right? So
Awesome.
yeah, still doing it. Still 3 jobs at
Yeah.
the same time. It's just how I roll.
It's amazing.
I don't sleep much.
So would you guys like to discuss your education?
So my education, of course, with being in children's services, I am a registered early childhood educator. So
Oh, nice.
I went to college. And when you're in children's services, there's always professional development.
Ongoing education.
It's ongoing education. So whether it be a couple hours of a seminar or it be a couple days of different seminars, it's constant. You have to constantly keep up and understand all the ministry changes. With being the supervisor, you have to be on top of all of those things because you have to make sure that you're upholding all of the ministry standards
Yeah.
and that staff are doing the same thing. So making sure they're doing their training. And so professional development is constant.
ends.
It never ends.
It's got to be tough keeping up with all of it.
Yeah, it can be busy at times. There's a lot of evenings and
Yeah,
weekends.
there's been times
and
she's brought home books or regulations and
Yeah.
stuff.
I was going to say
that
regulatory changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that she's had to review, and the binder's like 3 inches thick. And she's
Yeah.
like, I gotta read this over the weekend. Yeah, okay, have fun.
And now I got to remember which of the old stuff I got to forget now.
Yes.
Exactly, because
Yes.
it's changing
Yes.
all the time. Yeah, so you have to let go of that and let the new come in.
Yeah.
So education-wise, it's kind of ongoing all the time.
You know what? I actually, we'll talk about what we do. And I find what she does fascinating. I really do. I see what the early on centers have done, what they contribute to families in Dufferin County.
Yeah.
And it's such a positive thing. And I guess that's,
Yeah.
why I find it fascinating.
Yeah.
That's
Again,
good.
it's all about the helping the families. And,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
getting through some of the tough times and just helping the children with developmental and milestones and just all those things.
Well, nobody ever teaches you how to parent, right?
Right.
No, you don't need a license.
And people always think that it should just be natural, and it's not.
It's not.
And it's okay for it to be not natural. It's okay for people to say, I really don't know what to do about this, right?
Yep.
Like, come to the early on. That's what we're there for, right? We can send you in the direction you need to go, or hopefully we have some parenting classes and stuff going on that can help at the same time. So,
Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, again, like you said, you're all about helping people.
yeah, true. Yeah.
So how about yourself, Jerry?
So my education's in human resources, labor relations, and arbitration mediation.
Well.
Yeah, that's a mouthful.
Say that 3 times fast.
So again, human resources, it's about helping people.
Yep, it should be.
It's supposed to be. And a lot of times with businesses these days, human resources is nothing about helping anybody,
Exactly.
which is wrong,
100%.
right? Put the human element back in human resources. For those of you that are paying attention to that, put the human back. So it's funny, when I was studying human resources, my professor told me, you should take 2 years of psychology
Makes sense.
on how to deal with people. And I was like, no, not taking psychology. I says, simply because psychology puts people in boxes. If you're going to react this way, you fit in this box. And if you're going to behave that way or do this, you fit in that box. And that's wrong. We're human. We're not a category.
Yeah. Not a label.
So I took 2 years of human nature, which taught me to deal with everybody as an individual. So how you're going to affect change with those people is going to be on that individual basis, one-on-one with you and that person, not you, that person, and a category or an element. You're going to genuinely want to talk to that person, find out what's going on, and as that human resources specialist, you're going to find a way to make their day better. It's not about making the company's day better. It's about making their day better. You know why? Because when they're better, the company benefits, not the other way around, right? Take pride in your workforce. Take pride in who, I think this is the big thing that companies forget, you hired these people.
Yeah.
They stood out at one point and you decided to go, I want that person to work for me. So you know what? Care about them.
Yeah. When you put it like that, yeah.
Care about them. They're still yours. They still choose to show up at your place every day. So why can't we be human? Because you know what? A happy employee is a productive employee.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? Lori knows I have this saying, and I learned this from one of my previous employers. And you've probably seen it, being with a big company. When you do a good job, you get an attaboy letter. Attaboy,
Yep.
good job.
Yep. Yeah.
I got to remind you of this. It takes 1,000 of those attaboys to get you out of one holy crap. So you better have a lot of those, because what they're going to remember is the holy crap,
Yep.
not the attaboy, right? And that's wrong.
Yes.
Let's remember why we're here, right? When you do good things for your company, the company benefits. So companies, remember, when they're doing those good things, recognize what they do, give them a fair shake, because let's face it, if they're not there, you wouldn't be either. If you're a big company, no employees, no company. Even a small business, you depend on those employees. And it's a proven fact, more employees leave not the job because of the job, but because of a bad employer.
Yep.
Very true.
Most of them are dedicated to doing a good job. It's the employer that they leave, not the business.
I know that's why I left my job.
Yep, see? For that basic thing, if we were to make it an even trade where we would look after each other, people would stay at their jobs from the time they started to the time they put them in a box, right?
Yep.
Because you know what? They'd be happy there.
Exactly.
Right? There's no loyalty. Companies don't want to exercise that loyalty. They're like, oh, you know what? I'm not happy with you today. You get frustrated. You either quit or they find a way to get rid of you. It's not about this. What can we do to make your day better? Because when your day's better, we get more done. How did that simple concept get lost? You know? So that's my education plus my, because I've had such a varying work regiment over the years, I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
So I've graduated gracefully from the School of Hard Knocks, and it's opened my eyes. So now at my age now, I've got 30 years of customer service. 30 years. And 26 years in the automotive industry. And that's, again, customer service, sales, parts, service, you name it, plus everything else I've done. So my education varies, but that's where my formal education was, human resources. And I chose it because I wanted to help. Go figure.
Go figure.
I wanted to make a difference. Right? Some companies went, don't do that. Don't make a difference.
Yeah.
Well, how do you not make a difference? It's what you hired me for. Right? So
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
People forget that sometimes. They definitely
a
do.
lot.
Yeah. More often than not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So would you guys like to discuss any personal struggles you've overcome?
For me, probably when I was younger, I was quite shy.
Yeah.
So as I grew up, I did learn that it wasn't even so much being shy, it was more being an introvert.
Yeah.
So being around people a lot of the day, by the end of the day, I was tired. I was kind of like people tired. And then learning that I'm an empath also then made sense with all of that. So, I mean, with what I do now as being a supervisor with the county, I've had to certainly learn how to not be as introverted.
Yep.
But I mean, it still sneaks in there sometimes.
100%.
And certainly more kind of after hours, right? I do need that downtime. I do
Yes, you
need,
do.
some quiet time. If I have too much stimulation going at me all the time, I'm very overwhelmed.
Completely understandable.
Yeah. So I've learned how to deal with it throughout the day, but by the evening, it's like
need your time.
Yeah, I need a bit of time. So I think that's probably been my biggest personal struggle.
I'm a similar way.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's nice when you can get over it, but I mean, at the same time, you still always need that time.
Always, right? Because it doesn't go away. You just learn strategies on how to manage it.
100%.
But then you still need those times that it's just quiet.
Exactly.
Quiet.
So how about yourself, Jerry?
I think and Lori can attest to this, I think my struggle is never feeling like I've been good enough.
Absolutely.
I think that's huge.
That stems from young age.
That stems from when I was a lot younger, and my father always thought I would amount to nothing and was not opposed to telling everybody how he felt. So for me, I was always like, I'd always feel like I had to do more or overachieve wherever I could or do this. And it was never about doing it for his recognition, because I learned pretty young that what him and I had as a relationship was really strained all the time.
Okay.
The funny thing is I let him control part of that even after I was married. Like, he would still call me to do things for him, and, wanting to be that good son, I would go and do it, only to be berated by him when I would get there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why am I doing this? So Lori knows, for me, it's, I have a hard time letting things go. I have a hard time forgiving myself for things. And I think that's why I always want to help, because I want people to not feel like I did.
Yeah.
Right? It's to help,
Yeah.
to make them see that they are worthy.
Yeah.
Right? Where I never thought I was.
Right.
And I want them to know it's okay to ask for help. Don't be afraid. Ask for help. Right? I was always one of those guys. I had to do it myself. And I still do it to
Yes,
this
you
day
do.
at some aspects. I still say, nope, I'm going to do it. Lori will say, let me help you. Don't. Because I feel like it's something I need to do. But at the same time, I will tell everybody, ask me for anything, because I'm there. And one of my tags, I guess, is, you know what? When I offer help in any way, shape, or form, I'm not saying it to hear myself talk. I sincerely, genuinely mean it. So I think that's my struggle. You would agree?
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
That's difficult. That is a struggle. Never feeling like you're good enough. Like, it can result in some great things, like somebody like yourself, which is awesome. We don't have enough people like you out there, but it's rough. And I mean, the pain that gets there to get you there, it's rough. It's really difficult to deal with sometimes. Like, yeah,
it's hard. Like, I think it started when I was 12. So that's 40 years.
Yeah.
I've felt like this. And my dad's been passed away now for years, and I never spoke to him for 11 years before he passed, and it still affects me to this day. I don't know how to let it go. So what I do is I take that, I turn it around and project it outwards, because Lori knows I'm an extrovert.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I will do whatever I can to help anybody so they never feel like I do.
Absolutely.
I think that's my struggle.
Yeah.
It's so great that you've dealt with it in such a positive way, because I mean, I think that's a large part of the problem now. And I mean, I don't even think you need to go through something that you have to feel like you're never going to be good enough. And the response is, why even try? You responded the complete opposite. You're like,
Yes.
I'm going to try even harder, and I'm going to try to help other people, and I'm going to try to help myself, and I'm going to try to help other people,
Right.
which is something that's rare. I mean, you usually get one or the other, either the person
Yeah,
that's
you're usually at one end of the spectrum or the other.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for me, it was just, I need to take how I feel and turn it outward.
yeah.
And show people it can be different. You don't have to feel that way. And if anybody, and even if it's people that don't feel that way, I still want to help, right? But if you feel that way or there's some sort of struggle, then you know what? I want to be that person that's there, right? That you can say, you know what? They genuinely cares, right?
Absolutely.
And that's how I've dealt with it, I guess, as
It-
best as I can.
And knowing somebody like yourself who is like that can change somebody's life.
I hope
it
so.
really can.
I hope.
It does. Like, it's easy to lose faith. Sometimes we've said this before, but I mean, when you do meet somebody that is authentic, it does change things a ton for people.
Sure
And it can be
does.
such a great role model, and it can get people to change their behavior drastically.
Yep.
Drastically. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Hey, it's Josh again with another commercial break. On top of that, knowing my passwords, I also don't pay for antivirus programs like Norton, Kaspersky, or McAfee. Despite this, I feel safer than if I did have them. To see why, check out the articles on our website, dufferinspotlight.ca. Now back to our show, Dufferin Spotlight on Business. So, did you guys start, buy, or inherit this?
So we just started it.
Yeah. Yeah. We started just the two of us.
When we started, it was just you and I, and then we had a partner for a bit, and then she chose to pursue her own thing and left the team, and then Lori jumped right in. Originally, it was myself and,
Yeah.
and my partner
When
And
we formed the
when
big
we
group,
formed
yeah.
Team Spirit,
Yeah.
and then like I said, she left to do her own thing, and that's fine. We were okay. We took over the team, changed it our way.
Cool.
But we started it. We have held on to it. We've developed it, watched it grow, nurtured it as much as we can.
Absolutely.
We think about it every day because we do posts and stuff on our page daily. So it's not something that you let sit by the wayside. It's always active. I'm always looking at new equipment. But yeah,
Always looking for new places to investigate.
yeah, we're always looking. So, I think that's key for us is we have a vested interest in it. Never once have you and I said, like, I'll buy a piece of equipment and she'll go, do you know what that cost? I think you did it once. I think when I bought the SLS camera, she was like, do you know what that thing costs? Yes, but we don't have one. And we need one. So when we got that SLS, do you remember the day I unpacked it? So standing down at the end of the island, I get it out of the box, I assemble it all, I put it all together, I fire it up. Lori's sitting in this chair right here. I come around the island, and right away I pick up something standing right beside her. And I think my face was like, I'm just stunned.
What?
I had this like blank, open mouth stare. She's like, what? I go, there's something standing beside you. And that was it. She was addicted. She didn't care what that thing cost. Didn't matter at that point. And then I come home from work and she'd be like, can we fire up the SLS?
I became a little addicted to it for a while.
Yeah. Get your money's worth.
Yeah. It's like, who's here today?
Yeah. So, we were catching stuff beside the chairs, upstairs, on the island. But yeah, I think that's, we've never argued over or said to each other, you know what, don't buy that.
No, absolutely not.
I think it's always been, okay, what are we going to use it for? This. Okay, get it. And that's where you and I click that way. That's our passion for this.
That's good because that could be some problems, but that's awesome, especially that you guys are on the same page.
Yes.
That's what's
Huge.
Yes, that's
Huge.
very important.
So, did you guys have any major investors, or was credit or financing available to you?
We would love an investor. Yeah. Actually, we'd be happy with a sponsor.
A sponsor would be cool.
Right? We would be happy with a sponsor.
Someone
who makes batteries. Right?
Batteries, I imagine.
Yeah, we go through a lot of batteries.
Yeah. Every third investigation, we go through a yogurt container worth of batteries, like a big yogurt container.
Rechargeables just aren't strong enough. We've
tried.
We've tried because we don't want to have to keep getting rid of batteries, right?
Yep.
Because we try to be as environmental as we can, but
100%.
the rechargeables just
won't
aren't
last
strong
half an
enough for
investigation.
us.
They die.
Yeah,
Wow.
we
They're
just
not
can't
strong
keep
enough.
them.
So, like, we're buying Duracells and Energizers because they'll at least give us a couple of investigations before they're done. But like every third investigation, I spend $100 on battery, and we have a lot of equipment. So I will show you a picture later of what it looks like when I'm charging the equipment in here. Orangeville Hydro loves me. I'm sure my meter out there spins like a record.
Yeah, and that's with a lot of the equipment that's rechargeable too.
And that's just rechargeable stuff.
Yeah.
Right? I end up having to plug in 2 power bars. I have a USB charging station just with USB ports.
Yeah.
I literally cover a table with stuff that just needs recharged. Never mind the stuff I have to keep putting new batteries in. Like 5 digital recorders, take 2 each. So there's 10 batteries every second investigation. The Mel meter. That Mel meter goes through 9-volt batteries like a kid at Dairy Queen going through a sundae.
Yeah.
It's just done. Dead. Okay.
So so we currently don't have any investors, but we'd love a sponsor.
And financing's not available for something like this. Like, you imagine walking into your bank and go, hi, I'd like to open a ghost hunting business.
Yeah.
And we're not going to make any money.
Yeah, and I'd like $50,000, So everything that we've invested in the means of equipment, we have hoodies, signage, is all out of pocket. That's the one thing you and I don't like to look at, is what our expenditures have been on. Because when we look at that, you go, oh my God.
We just kind of let that go.
What did we spend last year? Oh my God.
Yeah, it'd be a little rough.
Yeah.
Because, banks really, they only lend you money if you have contracted revenues, like, that you can guarantee. If you open up any kind of business, especially one that's not generating revenue, at least frequently, especially if it's not going to be generating profits, the banks aren't going to touch you.
No.
Anybody that tried to open up a business and went to a bank can attest to that. They know how difficult it is, if it's even possible.
It is.
Yeah.
Makes complete sense, but a sponsor would be great, especially like you said, for batteries.
Even for batteries,
absolutely.
Like
then we could
if anybody out there works for Duracell or Energizer or MagnaCharge or any of these, and double A's and triple A's is what we go through, and we'll slap your name on everything we drive.
Absolutely, all of our equipment, anything.
Yeah, all our cases, whatever.
Awesome.
I'd even put it on the sleeves of the
Yep.
hoodies, powered by.
Absolutely.
Right? You know what I mean? But yeah, a sponsor would be fantastic.
And they have a Facebook Live every week, so they
Absolutely,
see that stuff.
Yeah.
It'd be seen by a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we have fun on our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you can attest to.
I was gonna say, I had fun. Thank you. It was awesome. I'm not. It's the first time I've been on video, so
You
thank
did a great job.
Well, by the way.
You did.
It was a lot more relaxing than I thought. Thank you for that, because I mean that's because of you guys.
Oh,
We're trying to make people feel
good.
comfortable.
And your audience was great. So
Yes.
thank you to all of your audience. It was awesome. It was so great. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
So who was your first customer?
That was Stephanie.
Yes.
Stephanie Kalin from Say It With Socks.
Yes.
So Stephanie's house is an old church. And so that was our first formal investigation.
It was.
We brought every piece of equipment we had at the time.
Yeah.
And that was still a lot of equipment we brought.
Yeah, we did.
So we had stockpiled. I think that 1 month, I spent like $6,000 on equipment, just getting it all ready to go. And then we went to her house. It's an old church that they've renovated into a home. They did a fantastic job.
Beautiful.
It's got so much character.
Beautiful.
My God, it's a beautiful house. And so we showed up there because she had the pastor, the original founder of the church, his spirit's there. And so we went there, got some great evidence.
Yes.
Stephanie's aunt was there and looks after one of her daughters. And
Spirit.
in spirit.
In spirit. Yes.
Yeah, watches over one of her daughters. And then we picked up on the pastor's spirit, Reverend John Morrison, and we caught an kind of unpleasant entity in the basement, which we did get rid of.
Yep.
But for our first investigation, it was huge. So much so that when we run our promo commercial, Stephanie's house is in it.
Yes.
We asked her if we could put it in there because we were so elated to get there. And the whole family was there. They were so great when we were doing the investigation, and a tribute to them, they're in our commercial. Right? And it was great. That was our first investigation. We had such a good time. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And she was actually watching the Facebook Live we did.
Yes,
the other
Yes.
day.
yes. Stephanie.
she
Stephanie's
was.
one of our faithful followers,
Yeah.
and she's, like I said, she's so creative. She does so many things, but she's just genuinely a kind soul, which is huge. And her husband Terry opened their house to us and let us in. Terry was a bit of a skeptic at the time. I don't think so much now.
No, I don't
anymore.
think so anymore.
He's kind of on board. But yeah, just a great investigation. For our very first formal one, it was like top notch. Loved it.
Yeah.
Awesome. What was your biggest challenge in starting this business?
First, getting the equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
And then the
equipment.
biggest challenge is getting places to investigate.
Yes.
And that still is a challenge.
Yeah.
Some people will tell you, oh, yeah, I got something in my house. And they're like, okay, let us know. We'll come and investigate. And then they don't call you back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because chances are it's either a spouse or a family member's like, I don't want them in here.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't want them recording. And I don't want my name out there. And I don't want my neighbors to go, your house is haunted. Right?
Yeah.
But what they don't realize, like I said in that statistic earlier, 86% of the population has had a paranormal experience. The other 14 just don't talk about it. Right? So
And we're also very respectful in the means of if they don't,
if they don't want to be on, or they don't
we
want us to
wouldn't do
record,
a Facebook Live.
we don't do
wouldn't
lives.
We wouldn't take a picture even of the outside of their house.
we don't
wouldn't-
want people going, oh, I know that house.
Yeah, we're very respectful, and we make sure we always ask, is it okay if we do a live? Is it okay if we put some pictures on Facebook? We can do houses that don't have to go on Facebook.
Absolutely.
Right?
It's
So
about the
I think
investigation.
it's important
not
people
about
know that, too.
blasting it out there. Right? It's
Yeah.
about the investigation.
Yeah.
So there's no barrier for anybody to come forward.
Absolutely.
No, we will work within whatever parameters you want to lay out for us. So if you say, you know what, I don't want any pictures,
Mm-hmm.
no pictures. Don't want us doing any video? We only do video for the purpose of the investigation, none for broadcast.
Right. Yes.
So that's it.
Yeah.
There's no reason why we couldn't come there, find what the answers that you're looking for, and keep it respectful.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
Right? So some are like, you know what, you want to take pictures of my
yeah.
house? Take pictures of my house.
Depends, right?
Go ahead. Right? Fine. But we always ask. We don't assume.
Yeah.
Right?
Makes sense.
I think that's our biggest hurdle is
Yeah.
still getting places.
Yeah.
I got to ask, but your team, like how'd you guys all come together?
It's kind of interesting. I think what we did first is we did a live show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So my partner that I had before, she's a medium, and her and I started talking and thought, wouldn't it be really cool if you could pick up on spirit and I could actually record spirit?
Okay.
Right. You're going to talk to spirit. I'm going to bring my equipment, and we're going to be able to identify spirit there while you're getting a reading.
Awesome.
So we did a live event.
Yeah.
And that's how we got started.
That is-
and then
yeah.
we put it out there that we were looking, we put it on Facebook on our page that we were looking for people to join our crew. And we got the most amazing ladies. No guys.
No?
All ladies. Came forward, still with
Yeah.
us.
That's amazing.
We did some training.
Yeah,
and
we did it.
right on
we
the
did-
equipment.
Yeah, we did training on the equipment and things like that. And then we did and then it was learn on the go because it's hard to use the equipment unless you're in the setting. So you would learn on the fly. And now they're seasoned. They know exactly what they're doing. They have a whole new element when they come. So that's how we got them, and they've been with us ever since. And
they've all also had either experiences with the paranormal that had brought them to being interested in doing what we're all doing now.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just coming together like that, I imagine would be quite the challenge. Finding the right team, like that's awesome.
And you know what? The ladies that we got, we all gelled
Absolutely.
really quickly.
Yes.
Like really quickly.
Yeah.
And and now, so it's not just in the investigations. They'll come over here and they'll come over and we'll have dinner or something like that and we'll hang out. So for that, we've gone together to like a metaphysical show. We'll rent a big van. We'll put all the crew in there and we'll all go down together and we all wear our hoodies and walk around and we have a good time together. That's what was important.
It was important.
Great. That makes it really easy. Like, it's really special too.
Yeah.
So do you guys have any advice for those starting their own business?
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. Research.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Lori and I actually tried to open a business here in town because you can attest to this. If you live in Orangeville, you know there is nothing to do here. Other than go to the movies, go to a restaurant, or go to a bar, there's nothing to do. It's sad. Lori's head office is where the old bowling alley used to be.
Yep.
And that's gone.
Yep. I loved going there when I was growing up.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we came up with a great plan to give this town something to do. And it was straightforward and it would appeal to men, women, whatever. And it would be entertaining. We would be a hometown business. We would be contributing. We wanted to do things for charity, stuff like that. And the town said no. And we were like, what? Anyway, but that was the old council.
Yeah.
So we're hoping the new council, maybe a little more open-minded, would like business in this town. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Right? We'll see. We haven't forgotten that idea.
No, we haven't.
And we think it would be greatly successful. So, and we did. We looked at the old Sears. We looked at where the old bed and rug place was, where Broadway Bowling is now.
Okay, yeah.
We had looked at that facility. We had looked at the space where Stacked is on Broadway.
Yeah.
We got nothing but flack from the owner of that complex, though. That strip mall, we told him what we wanted to do. Nope.
Really?
Yep. He'd rather it sat empty for another year instead of letting us in.
That story's too often. I mean, I think I've heard stories about the tax credits being too favorable for
Yeah,
these
because
landlords.
they get a kickback for leaving it empty.
Yeah. Which
Right?
is
So they're like,
ridiculous.
why should I rent it?
Yeah.
Well, why wouldn't you? Wouldn't you rather have rent?
Yeah.
Right.
But back to your
So yeah,
So
do
research,
do
right?
that research.
yeah.
And again, it comes down to that thing I've always said: see a need, fill a need.
Yep.
Right? If you want to open a business, you have to fill that need, right? And do something that sets yourself apart.
Yeah.
So for me, that means customer service,
Yeah.
right? Because let's face it, there's going to be a ton of businesses out there that's going to do what you do. It's how you set yourself apart. And if you want to know how to do that, call me. But that's crucial, right? You've got to do that research. You've got to have a realistic expectation of what you're going to make in that first year. Because I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be a lot of shelling out.
Yep.
Before you're going to get that return. So be prepared. Don't think that you're going to go out there and go, I've got $1 million idea and I'm going to make my million in my first year. Unless you're Amazon, it's not happening.
If you're not paying for what you're spending.
Right. You've got to, it's going to be blood, sweat, tears,
Yeah.
and sleepless
I was gonna say
nights.
a lot of hard work.
It is. And if you're afraid of that hard work, don't even. You're only going to disappoint yourself, not everybody else, yourself. And I don't want to see people disappointed in their dream.
Yeah.
But if you're determined, stick to that dream. And that's why I don't think we've ever let it go.
No, we haven't. No, we haven't.
Is
Good.
You have to have realistic expectations. And you know what? Talk to other businesses. Ask them what they've gone through. How hard was it to get started?
And you can get a lot of support from other businesses too,
and,
right?
and they offer things like when we went to a seminar with Jerry Hogan out on starting a small business. And we talked to him. And we got great connections through him. So don't be afraid to ask, right? It's not advisable you walk up to your competition and go, hey, how'd you get started? Because I want to do this.
Yeah.
Right? Don't do that.
It happens sometimes, though.
I know.
Yeah, it does.
Right? And they wonder why it doesn't work, you know. But yeah, do your research, be realistic, have a plan is huge.
Yeah.
Because even when you're approaching a bank's going to want to see a business plan. If you take the time to do that business plan first, you're already on a path to success because you're being realistic with yourself.
Yep.
Right? And then when you walk into that bank's going to see you're being realistic too. Unless you have a buried hoard of cash somewhere and you're not afraid to just go spend it, have at her.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you're going to need
Have a
some
plan.
financial support.
Yeah.
Right? And when you're getting the things that you need for your business, shop around. That's huge.
Yeah.
Right? And lean on people when they say, hey, you know what? I can build that desk for you, or you want counters over here? We can do that. You need to lean on those kind of people too. And once you've got that, I'm gonna
Build
tell you,
relationships,
it is.
right? Building
Build it.
relationships.
Business
is-
runs on relationships.
Absolutely, it does.
Once you get that and you get to that very first day where you get to flip that open sign, you're going to feel like $1 million.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you're going in knowing you've done what you needed to do to get started. That's huge. The first customer that walks through your door, you're going to go, this is why I did it.
Yeah, because you have a vision, and when you see that vision in front of you and it's real,
And it materializes.
like what a feeling.
Yeah.
And you
What a
work for it.
feeling.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you could be born with $1 million, but you still won't feel like $1 million.
No.
Exactly.
That's right. That's right.
Exactly.
You know?
That's really good advice. I mean, again, planning and research is big ones. Not enough people do that. I mean, you can get too caught up in it sometimes where you just don't jump. But I mean, if you go into things and you don't know what you're doing, you're going to make a lot of mistakes and cost yourself a lot of money.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Maybe you'll wreck some relationships on the way too.
Right.
Yep.
Like, so I mean,
Yep.
it's always good to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yep. When we looked at it, we did all the research, we had all the planning, and then we talked to our real estate agent, who also deals in leasing.
Nice.
And
Yeah, go to those that know too,
Right.
right? Like
Yeah.
use their advice,
Yep.
use
And
their
listen
knowledge
to it.
Right? Use
Listen
other
to
people's
it.
knowledge and
is
listen.
huge. We used them, and then we looked at some great places.
Yeah.
And you got to be realistic, because when we looked at the old Sears,
Yep.
6,400 square feet
Big, big.
in a very expensive mall.
Yep. Very
Right?
expensive.
So for those of you that don't know, just to give you an idea, to lease what used to be Sears here in Orangeville was $14,600 a month. A month.
Yeah. So,
So-
do your research because if you don't, you're going to be surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like Orange Theory here in town. People go to Orange Theory and they go, wow, the membership's like $120 a month. You don't know the rent they're paying over there. We do.
Yeah.
Because we know what it costs to rent that because we asked about it. And I'm like, my God, I don't even know how TD survived over there.
I was wondering. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? But anybody in that mall, like you figure, Booster Juice, what does Booster Juice cost? Do you know how many of those things they have to sell to make the rent?
Yeah.
Never mind pay the employees, because that plaza is nuts.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think here. I'm like, it's not even a marketing thing, like really for Booster Juice, because I mean, it's not like they sell anywhere other than
Juice.
Yeah.
yeah, like they sell it at the retail stores. It's not like it's online, so they need a presence, as far as I know.
Right.
But it's a franchise. Booster Juice is a franchise,
Yes.
so
Right.
that's their business. They sell franchises.
Yes.
I,
Yeah.
I don't know about the franchise owner.
Yeah.
Different
Yeah.
story.
Like,
Yeah.
we wondered, like, how does
Yeah,
that
we've
franchise
wondered
stay
many
open?
times. How do they do it, right?
Right. But so we did. We looked at many plazas and many locations here in Orangeville to find one. So unlike a restaurant where you got to put in tables and a stove and stuff like that, all we needed was a box. Our whole business thrived on a box. That's it. I didn't need to do anything to the walls. I didn't need to do fancy flooring. I didn't need to put in, bolt down tables and chairs and booths and put up walls. All I needed was a box. That was it.
Yeah.
And they were like, no. So let me get this straight. I'm going to leave your property in better shape when I leave
Yeah.
than it is right now. And you tell me no.
That's messed up. That's messed up.
We'll try again.
Yeah, I think, I
We'll try
think we
again.
will. I think we will. We'll tell you more about it after.
Wow.
But yeah, we were actually dumbfounded
Yeah.
by the walls that
Yes.
tenants and the town would put in front of you. Like, I'm not talking hurdles. You can jump a hurdle.
Yeah.
These
were
were
walls.
barricades.
Yeah.
Brick walls.
Yeah. And they were about 10 feet tall. And all we wanted to do was to contribute
Yeah.
to the town.
Yeah. You wonder why we're losing things around town. It's because
It's
we're
a
chasing
shame that
businesses
some
out
of these small businesses don't stay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some of these people have put their heart and soul into these small businesses, and you see them closing up, right?
Yep.
And this has been their dream, their livelihood,
Yeah.
and then it disappears.
Hey everyone, this is our last commercial break. If you made it this far, thank you, and I have to assume you found this interesting. To keep up to date with new episodes, be sure to follow or subscribe to us on your preferred listening channel. We are available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts, in addition to Facebook and YouTube. And of course, you can find all of our shows and more on our website, dufferinspotlight.ca. If we are not already on your preferred platform, be sure to let us know through our website, and we will do our best to get on it. We prioritize accessibility to our shows, so we will do our best to make it happen. That's it for commercials, and I hope you enjoy the rest of Dufferin Spotlight on Business. Do you have any plans for expansion?
In the means of the size of our team? No. We like our team just the way it is.
Awesome.
If we could reach out or branch out more in the means of where we investigate, locations, sure, absolutely. Yeah, we would.
Yeah, even bigger locations, right?
Our goal is to go to Scotland and investigate there.
Yeah.
Lori and I were there last year.
Yeah.
And my family's from there. And there's so many places. Because unlike here, where they take the old buildings, knock them down, and build new things out of, paper mache.
Lego.
And Lego. and gingerbread. Over there, they repurpose the old buildings.
Okay.
They don't knock them down. They repurpose and repurpose. Some of these buildings are 200-300 years old, and they still use them for modern things today. That's recycling.
Mm-hmm. Right? At its best.
Yeah, at its best. There's no waste. It's renovated in the means of wiring's updated and things like that, but the original building stands.
Good.
Right? Like Steakhouse 63.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So you have, a couple of 100 years of history in each one of these buildings. And when we went there, man, is it alive. Mm-hmm. So that would be my goal, to go there. That would only be my expansion, would be the range of places we go. I think would be the expansion.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, you learn so much more, and given that you're a history buff too, you'd be able to appreciate all those different things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So would you guys say you've exceeded your original goals?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes,
absolutely, without a doubt.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And every time I think about how we got started, I smile.
Yeah.
Because it was just you and I sitting in cold, drafty places with equipment, and sometimes we were in places with no heat, right? And you're sitting there with a park and it's a recorder. You're like, oh, I really hope I catch something because I'm freezing.
I hope someone's saying something.
And we've gone to doing, great inns and hotels and
Yeah.
businesses in town. And so exceeded, I've already exceeded. Yeah, I'm happy.
Commercial.
I was going to say.
Yeah, the commercial.
Mr. D.
Yeah. Commercial with Jerry D.
Yeah.
That
certainly exceeded anything ever expected.
Oh yeah, that was a jewel in the crown right there.
Yeah.
And we've been interviewed for the River
Yeah.
in Mount Forest for the radio station there. We were interviewed there. We've done a couple of charity benefits, fundraisers. So you know what? I think
So it's definitely exceeded.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. I just want to do more of it.
Yeah.
I just don't want it to stop. I think that's my thing. I want to keep doing those fundraisers, and we've done a couple of live shows. Mm-hmm. We had a great time with those. So, yeah, I cannot say I'm disappointed in any way.
Not at all.
Not with where we've gone. Yeah, it's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with that, what would you consider to be your biggest challenge in the years ahead?
Keeping the ball rolling.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That momentum. Once that train goes and it's heading down those tracks, you just want to keep it going.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that would be the biggest challenge.
Yes.
And age. I'm not a young guy anymore. Lori knows I kind of have a saying. It's not about the age.
Because you seem pretty spry.
It's the mileage. And my odometer's gone over a couple of times. I think the list of bones I haven't broke is shorter.
That is true.
Yes. So I will do this as long as I can.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I've always been an active guy. I don't let the aches and pains slow me down. But for me, I think it's meeting all those people that are still out there that we haven't reached yet. I think that's huge.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's the momentum, keeping that going.
I agree.
Because I don't think the passion for it dies.
Yeah.
Right? Because you get invigorated every time you go back out there. Mm-hmm. I just think it's that momentum.
It'd be difficult because, if the calls stop coming in, right, that's...
I'll be crushed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be crushed. Because the last thing I want to do is go, I have paranormal equipment for sale.
Oh.
Yeah.
That would kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be brutal.
That would kill me. I just think...
There'll always be people out there, though.
Yeah. The ultimate goal would be to be like Ghost Adventures or Ghost Hunters. Have your own TV show.
Yes.
I think that would be huge. To have your own 100% Canadian content.
Yeah.
Of what we do. Mm-hmm. So I think that would be that pinnacle.
Yeah.
I got there. I've achieved.
Be
right?
great for a Canadian show, especially.
I think that would be it. And have my crew. Because I know sometimes with some of these places, though, like if you're doing a TV show or something like that, they want to pick who's on your crew. My stipulation is, nope, my crew.
Absolutely.
because that's who we started with, and we're not leaving them behind.
Yeah, it'd ruin it so quickly.
It would take away.
would.
It's not authentic. It has to be them.
We've seen what happens to a lot of these shows, like any kind of reality-based show. After the first season, usually they start listening to the producers too much,
Yes.
and it's ruined.
Down it goes.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they bring in outside people and they try, oh yeah, we can get more people because we have to beat last year's ratings. Even if last year's ratings were great, we have to beat them, and
Right.
we have to make all these changes, and it's no longer authentic.
Exactly.
And then
Terrible.
it comes down to the almighty dollar.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's hard to get Canadian shows produced. I mean, we talk about CanCon. There's all these requirements for CanCon, but I mean, it doesn't really transpire into much.
Nope.
The biggest media companies don't really invest.
No.
No.
No. They don't want to take that chance.
That's it.
They want the sure thing, and that's it.
It's easy to license
Yeah.
United States content.
Yep. Absolutely.
So, are you guys looking forward to anything in the near future?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
So the new year, 2020, is going to bring big things for our team. The jail.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The jail is huge. The trip to Waverly
Yeah.
is going to be monumental.
Because we're working with another paranormal
We're working
group
with an American
in the
paranormal group.
States.
Cool.
Actually, she's been a friend of mine.
Yeah.
The amazing woman that runs it, Missy, runs this group out of Kansas City. She's like us, big heart, cares, just wants to be out there too, but she has a small crew. And Waverly's huge.
Okay.
Waverly's like 210,000 square feet. The thing's massive. It's 4 floors. It's an old TB hospital.
Yeah.
And it was an insane asylum. And it's massive. And it's like the holy grail. Other than Bobby Mackey's
Yes.
to investigate, Waverly's right up there. So that's one we're looking forward to. There was also the one with the Museum of Natural History. We have an opportunity to investigate the Museum of Natural History in Ottawa. So that'd be another jewel in the crown. So big things for 2020 for us. We're looking forward to these things.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I'd be excited too. I mean,
Yeah,
geez, I'm
very
excited to see
excited.
what happens. Wow. That is a lot. I mean, yeah, the jail, the asylum, and the museum.
That would be huge. If
Yeah.
we could do all 3 of those,
Yeah.
that's the trinity for us.
Yeah.
I
That's
think
our
that-
goal for 2020.
Yeah, that's our goal.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
And we're going to debut some new equipment.
Make sure you guys follow their page to make sure you can see all this happen.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Now, the other nice thing is when we do the jail, it's not just our crew that can come.
Oh, yeah?
We're going to open it to other people that want to come and investigate with us. As guest investigators, they can come and be locked inside with us.
Yeah. So watch the page because we'll have
watch
more
the page. We're
information
going to make
in
an
the new year.
announcement on that.
Amazing.
And that's the other thing that we do offer that we didn't really mention. So if you have a place
Yes.
that you know of or have your own place that needs investigated, if we come, you get to be a guest investigator. If it's your booking, like you put us in contact with it, you're coming. Right? As long as you want to.
Yeah, if
if
you
you're a
want
little
to.
freaked out with it, okay, you don't have to come. But you know what?
But if
so
you
far,
want
everybody's
to.
like, yeah, I
Yeah.
want to go.
I just want to know what's going on. I don't need to be there. I can see there being a few of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We have one guy that's a friend of mine, and he said, he wants to come along. He says, I'm not going to deny it. He says, I'll come along. He says, I'll probably pee my pants. And I'm like,
And we've never had anyone do that yet.
no. So that would be a first. And I'll make sure we catch that on camera.
Yeah, we'll catch that. That'll be on the live.
Yeah. So that would be, huge. But yeah, we want to open it up and let people come with us.
Awesome. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Make sure you follow their Facebook page because you'll see a lot going on there. And you'll see their Facebook Lives every week.
Yep. Yeah. Usually every Thursday.
Yeah.
8:00 this week.
This week is Wednesday.
8:00, just because of the Christmas season.
Yes.
Makes sense.
And we won't be doing one the following week.
Right. During.
Or the week after.
Right,
I
we'll
think
probably-
we're taking that break between Christmas and New Year.
Yes.
So
Everyone's busy with their family, and we'll be
yeah.
busy. So
look forward to it in the new year when
Yes.
we're back and the announcements and things like that. Big push coming 2020.
yes.
So what will happen after you leave the company in terms of an exit strategy or succession planning or something like that?
Ooh, I don't even want to think about that.
Have to be honest, we haven't really planned that part.
That's sad. I don't know. You know what? I'll be honest. If it came down to it and Lori and I were tapping it out, I would hope somebody on the team would want to continue
Yeah,
it. And you
yeah.
know what? I would gladly hand them the reins.
Absolutely.
Because I know any member of the team that takes it over would do fantastic with it. And I have complete faith in them. And you know what? And I would
agree.
always be there to help in the means of consult or whatever, or, whatever they need. But I really don't want to think about that. I'm going to be
Hopefully
like
that's a
80
long,
in my
long way
wheelchair
away.
rolling down a hall with a Mel meter. Right?
Well, you can pretty much still do it at that age.
I can still have, my
Well, I have to
SLS
get some-
mounted to my chair.
We
Make a
have
pretty
to
good show.
joystick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would make a good show.
That might do it.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I've never thought
Just
of that.
recruit a few younger crew, maybe, and they can, do some of the harder stuff.
It'd be hard to find people with the passion. I mean, that's
Yeah,
that's the
I
hardest
think
thing.
that's
Passion.
very
That's
true.
why I think if it was my turn to say, okay, I'm done, I'd hand it over to somebody in the crew.
Yeah.
Or
When
just
it's
let
already-
the whole crew
Yeah,
take it over. Not one person in particular.
Mm-hmm.
Just say, okay, you know what?
because we know they have the passion.
They do. For me, I think that would be the best exit strategy for one of them to say, you know what, we don't want this to end. And have the rest of them go, no, neither do we. No, here you go. It's your baby now, right? Because I think when it comes down to the end, I think you and I will say, you know what, we've had a great run. Mm-hmm. I'll always look back on that commercial with Jerry D with fondness. But you know what? I think the biggest thing I'll take away is all the people we met.
Absolutely. We've met some
We've met some amazing
fantastic
people. And I'm sure there's still a ton to come. But you know what?
And people have now that have come a part of our life,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
They're a
Like
part
Stephanie,
of,
when we did the investigation for Stephanie, we didn't realize what a good friend Stephanie was going to be. Mm-hmm. We've done other things where, like, we've done at live events, and people have been there, and now they're key elements in our life.
Absolutely.
Right. So I think that's huge. I don't think we could do without that. I think that will be our greatest memory is everybody that we've come into contact with. Like you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Again, I've only known you guys a short period of time, but I'm already so grateful that we met and that you're part of my life now.
And you know what? And we always will be. As long as you want us,
Absolutely.
we're there.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I think that's it. It's not enough to just say it. You have to live it. If you're going to talk the talk, walk the walk.
100%.
Be there. Don't say it in passing. Some people have that misconception when their time comes. They look at it as he who has the most wins. That's wrong.
100%. Yeah, you're right. You're right on that.
With the amount of people I have met doing this and every other business I've been in over the years, I have a list of people that I know and consider good people. When my time comes, I'm a wealthy man. Just from experience. Never mind the money. Because you know what? We all end up in the same size box or the same size urn. It doesn't matter what you take with you. What you take is those experiences and how much you've touched people's lives.
Yeah.
That's the experience. That's what's the wealth of a person. Right?
Absolutely.
So
Live
that
in
would
the
be
moment.
that would be my exit. To know that when I go, I've touched as many people as I can,
Absolutely.
whether it's in business or in life.
Yeah, because I mean, you could leave a bunch of money behind, but if you're not leaving any good experiences or memories, that's not going to mean much.
Great.
Right.
Because I mean, chances are that money's not going to be used for great things either.
Right.
And the money will disappear.
Yeah.
That's it. But the,
Right?
the impact
Memories
you've made,
and impacts last forever.
exactly, 100%.
This time of year, just think Ebenezer Scrooge.
Yeah.
Man had all kinds of money. In the end, it was the legacy of who he became.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you both so much.
Hey,
You're very
it was
welcome.
a
Thank
pleasure.
you, Josh.
I wanted to ask, was there a particular story that you might have that was your favorite?
The same house we did here in Orangeville, you got bit
Yes.
on the shoulder.
On the shoulder.
Which we have we
A
took
picture
photo
of.
of.
Yep.
Wow.
During the investigation, you can see the teeth marks on Lori's shoulder.
Yeah.
I got scratched twice. One of them was deep enough that it took a couple of days for it to disappear. I've had an attachment.
It broke the singing bowl.
Yeah,
That
it
was
broke
the
our
same
singing
house,
bowl.
right?
Yeah, you've not seen our singing bowl. So
Oh, yeah.
I will show you the singing bowl. But yeah, cracked the singing bowl. This
This was a very strong.
This spirit put up a fight.
spirit.
Oh my God, did it put up a fight. It made one of the crew members feel sick. One had to go outside. It was just unbelievable headache. It was also the one that attacked Cindy, tried to take her over.
Right.
Yeah, not a pleasant house.
No.
But we haven't heard anything since. It's
No.
been good.
Yeah.
That's good.
We did a big clearing. And it's funny, that's where it comes down to when I say, we got this great crew because we all put ourselves out there. And we kind of were sacrificed, in trying to get this thing out of there. We all knew what we were up against. Some of us came out a little worse for wear, but we prevailed.
Yes, we did.
We prevailed. So I'd say that was probably the most where everybody was kind of affected.
Yes.
The whole crew was affected in some way that day.
Helps bring you guys together.
Yeah. And the house wasn't that old. It was about 14 years old here in Orangeville. It's not an old house.
No.
Not an old house. But, it did. That spirit put up a fight. Was draining the batteries and the equipment. We caught it on the SLS, though. Caught it on the SLS the minute the bowl stopped working. You could hear it. It was chiming nice. All of a sudden, it sounded like you were smacking a hubcap. And I'm like, okay, that's broken. And then the camera went dead. Boop, just dropped.
Yep. We had a lot of malfunctions with equipment that night.
That day.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think the other big, huge one we can't ignore because it affected all of us was Michelle's.
Yep. I was gonna when we were
Michelle's
done. I
house
was gonna say I
with-
think
with-
Michelle's
with
house
Chris,
was
with Chris from the Orangeville Banner. That house was wow, like what we went through to get that out. And that was at the time. That was everybody. We brought everybody to get that house clear.
And then the last one we were at too.
Nancy's house.
Nancy's house.
Nancy works for the Dufferin County Museum.
Yeah, who was also watching.
Yes, she was.
And
Yeah.
she has the coolest house in Hornings Mills.
Okay.
It was the Undertaker's house, right? But it was also the Undertaker's house. It was also a post office.
Yep.
His wife was a seamstress.
Seamstress.
She made all the linings for the caskets. He built the caskets there, did the embalming there, everything in his house. And it's just, the house is like Grand Central Station for spirit. Because so many spirits had been through that house. And so many family members at the time of grieving when they would lose somebody. Because he would put them on display in what is the living room now.
Yeah,
Okay.
the parlor.
And that was where people would come, and that's where they would have their loved one on display. Down in the basement, yeah, his original workbench where he built the casket's still there, and it's notched for different size caskets. It's just the coolest house. It really is. I, honest to God, would never turn my TV on if I lived in that house. I would just sit there and watch spirit go back and forth.
Yeah.
Because it is like Grand Central Station.
Yeah.
Some come in
They're
and
just
they
moving
go,
around.
and then they come, and then something
But
else
everything
comes in.
was
And it was peaceful.
peaceful and friendly, and like
There was nothing negative.
negative at all in that
It was
house.
just, you know what? It was just that house breathes.
Yes.
That's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
The energy makes that house fluctuate and go,
Yeah.
and go. It breathes. And I got to tell you, it's got such the right owner.
Yes.
Nancy is the best owner for that house ever. Because you know what? She is just
She's respectful
so
of them
in tune with
and
them.
in tune.
I think that's the best way to put it. She's just
She talks to them.
She does.
She
and she allowed us to come in
Yes.
to do an investigation. We told her we didn't want to know anything. And at the end,
we told stories.
we told what we picked up on, what I got,
She told stories.
what Holly got,
Yeah.
what Michelle got, and we were all right.
Mm-hmm.
And then Nancy proceeded to tell us the stories, and she was like,
I
You
think
could-
that's the place that we've stayed the longest
Oh, God,
after,
yeah. After an
we had put
investigation.
all of our equipment away.
Oh, yeah?
We
Sat
sat
there for
around
like-
the living room
for almost like an hour.
listening to stories.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic experience.
Cool.
and
Yeah.
Nancy actually said to us, I told her, I says, I have metal detectors, and she says, bring them, come in the spring,
In the spring.
bring them, and you can have at her out there. And I'm like, really? She's like, yep. And I was like, okay, because she wants to know the history on her land just as much as everybody else does. But yeah, I got to tell you, we could have sat and listened to Nancy talk to the wee hours of the morning. She's a great storyteller.
Yes.
And it's all fact.
Yeah.
It's all fact. You just sit there and go, wow, that's really
Tell me
cool."
more.
Yeah. Don't stop. And we told she actually invited us to come back, barbecue.
Yeah.
Have the team over, come back in the spring, we'll barbecue and we'll talk
we'll be
some
taking
more.
her up on that.
Yeah, and we said absolutely. I said she's
Awesome.
one of the coolest ladies
Mm-hmm.
and homeowners we've ever met. She just yeah. And because she works at the museum and it's all about history, oh my God. I'm just tell me the history. I love history.
So we've had a lot of great experiences, right?
Absolutely.
And, we have had to deal with some negative entities.
Yep.
But we've also had some fantastic, friendly spirits more times than not. So
good.
it's just been a great experience.
Yeah. I look back and I
It's hard to
I think
pick
about
one
them and
that's
I-
like your
and they all-
favorite
yeah.
because you can kind of go back to each house and pick something out of each.
yeah.
Right, like we did the inn. Like there's so many experiences that we've
The
had
inn
at
at
the
the Falls
couple
of
of inns that
Bracebridge.
we did, and
That was a cool first investigation.
Yes.
Caught
And
a lot of stuff
overnight,
there,
yeah.
overnight. But you know what? I look back and they just make me smile.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of them, because every one of them was different. Yeah, I can't. It was just so cool.
It makes it worth it.
it does.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
I can't say there was any house where our business or whatever we went to and we went, that was a waste.
Yeah.
You're
No,
always
we've
meeting great
never.
people.
We've never gone to a house or a business and not found
Something.
something.
Everywhere we go, we found
Yeah.
something.
Some places are quieter than others.
Yes,
but,
yeah.
You know,
but
you might
then
not
there's
get
others that are
as-
just electric. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
No.
We help no matter
That's
what.
right.
And I got to tell you, there are times I've sat down at the command and I watch the team go. So I'm not involved. I just sit there. And I got to tell you, It'll make you misty-eyed to see this team that's been created. I'm not going to say I created it. I'm going to say that's been created, and watch them do what they do. Like Lori and Ellen doing the flashlight test. Team, there'll be a couple of investigators walking around with the Ovilus or the SLS. And I just sit back and I'm in awe of them because they are so good. And it makes me proud to say, you know what? When my exit comes, it's in good hands. Right? So, yeah, make you misty-eyed.
Absolutely.
It will.
Absolutely.
That's rare too.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Well, thank you both so much again. I really
was our
appreciate
pleasure.
it.
Thanks, Josh. We had
Thank
a great
you.
time.
This was a lot of fun.
It was.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, and if any other businesses are out there and you're listening to this, and I'm sure you are, you should reach out to Josh.
Thank you.
Yes.
And do this. And do this.
Absolutely.
appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. And you know
It's a
what?
great experience.
It is. It is.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, that's it for this episode of Dufferin Spotlight on Business, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you to Lori and Jerry from Team Spirit, the science behind Spirit, for taking the time to help us out with their show. And to those of you who listened. To contact Team Spirit, check out sciencebehindspirit.ca and like their Facebook page, which will also allow you to stay up to date on news and catch our weekly Facebook Live show. As far as Dufferin Spotlight on Business goes, the easiest way to keep up with our show is to follow or subscribe, wherever you prefer to listen. We are currently available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts, in addition to Facebook and YouTube. Of course, you can find all of our episodes and more on our website, dufferinspotlight.ca. If there's anywhere else you would like to see us, please let us know through our website and we'll do our best to get on it. If you haven't seen it yet, last week's episode was with the owner of Fromage, Christine Patton. This is the cheese shop that Team Spirit investigated. It is also one of my favorite places to grab lunch. It's delicious comfort food made from high quality ingredients, something few people can say no to, and it's located right at 111 Broadway. Don't listen to this episode on an empty stomach. Trust me, you'll regret it. There's a lot going on with Fromage, so be sure to listen to this one. Until next time, get to know your community and shop local.